another episode of the Sean Ferrell Podcast. I am Sean Ferrell. God is great all the time. All the time, God is great. Jesus Christ died and he rose again. Let's get into it, shall we? Okay, so I saw this story last week where an article was written about the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Okay. And it talked about the mental health of the sheriff deputies, and there were some sombering and tragic stats about the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. There was a guy by the name of Deputy Hernandez. Okay, he died by suicide, and that was the 13th suicide in the past 17 months. The Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, Deputy Hernandez died by suicide. The 13th suicide death in 17 months. The head deputy, a guy by the name of Robert Luna. I'm not big into politics. I hate politics, but based off reading this story, he was not a good guy. The head sheriff, Robert Luna, not a good guy. Got in office in 2022. And this is what really got me. In November of 2023, during a 24-hour stretch, okay, this is going to blow your mind, okay? In November of 2023, during a 24-hour stretch, 4 lives were lost by suicide. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 lives were lost by suicide in a 24-hour stretch, okay? 4 lives in 24 hours. People at the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department say there's zero accountability. The morale is low. Officers feel abandonment, betrayal. They say that they work multiple overtime shifts a week, often only getting a few hours of sleep in between continuous double shifts. They say they are denied overtime. We are frequently denied time off. And our leadership sides with criminals while condemning us. Yeah, when you have a head sheriff who sides with criminals, I think that tells you all you need to know. Okay, I think that tells you all you need to know when you have your head sheriff siding with criminals and making your deputies' jobs harder. Okay, and it just seems like, based off this story I read, the guy Robert Luna is a and competent. Okay. Seems like that he doesn't care about the morale of his sheriff's deputies. And I think it's pretty obvious. 13 suicides in 17 months shows that he really doesn't give a damn about his officers' morale, their officers' safety, especially mentally. Okay. Especially when they're working 16 to 18 hours. Okay. That's insane. Okay. So, yeah, the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department, 13 suicides in 17 months. Boy, it just goes to show you the incompetence of the head sheriff. Okay. And, not only that, This is demonization of cops, okay? This is demonization of cops that makes it hard for them to do their jobs. Not only does risking your life every day take a toll on your mental health, it's the demonization of cops by other people that takes even a bigger toll, okay? Now, not all cops are perfect, okay? We all know that. We all know there's some bad cops out there, okay? But these guys are risking their lives. The good cops are risking their lives every day, okay? And they're getting demonized, okay? Defund the police is some of the stupidest I've ever heard, okay? That's stupid, right? So, to all the police departments in the surrounding Memphis areas, MPD, Shelby County Sheriffs, Germantown, Carterville, Bartlett, Lakeland, Olive Branch, South Haven. Let me just say this. Thank you for your service. Your lives matter just as much as any ordinary human would. Any ordinary human's lives would. Okay, your lives matter. Okay. Let me just say this: if you're feeling some type of way, do not hesitate to call 988. Okay. Don't be afraid to say what's on your mind. All right. 988 is the safe space where you can talk about anything that you want. Anything that you want. And it is confidential, okay? 100% strictly screw down tight confidential, okay? You can talk about anything that you want. Anything that you feel, okay? So, to the law enforcement in the surrounding Memphis area, Germantown, Shelby County Sheriff's, MPD, Lakeland, Bartlett, Carterville, okay, and surrounding police departments in the area, South Haven, Mississippi, Olive Branch. Thank you for your service. Your lives matter, okay? You are loved. You matter. And you all are more than enough, okay? And don't let anybody else ever tell you differently, all right? All right. So, I saw this. Saw this post by the mental health CEO. The real things keeping suicidal people alive. And this was an interesting read, okay? Spike. Not allowing the people who hurt and oppress them to win by dying to suicide. Guilt. The pain it would cause their friends, family, and loved ones if they were to go. Duty. Knowing that they have dependents, younger siblings, children, pets, who cannot care for themselves if they were to go. Fear of pain, death, the afterlife, sinning, or the scariness of all methods of suicide. Executive dysfunction, not having the time and energy to execute the monumental task of planning a suicide. Small sensory pleasures, drinking a hot cup of coffee, watching your favorite series, playing with your cat, okay? Daydreaming and fantasizing, dreaming of being rescued from your pain. Boy, how many times have I dreamed about that, right? Or having a happy life, drifting along in the hopes that one day this unlikely scenario might occur. Suicidal ideation as a coping mechanism. Suicidal ideation as a coping mechanism. Yeah. Some suicidal people feel a sense of relief and knowing that it is always an option if worst comes to worst. If this keeps you going, then so be it. Yeah, I would say right there, that is a very dark coping mechanism right there. Suicidal ideation is a coping mechanism. Yeah, that has a dark coping mechanism. But I want to go back to the small sensory pleasures, okay? Drinking a hot cup of coffee, watching your favorite TV series, playing with your cat, and so on, okay? Okay, so the things that can keep us going when we're suicidal can be things like that, okay? It can be treating yourself to lunch on Friday, okay? It can be going to the park once a week on a beautiful sunny day to get it away from everything, okay? It can be having lunch with your best friend every week. No, stuff like that. Watching your favorite football team win, okay? Watching your favorite basketball team win. Unless you're a Knicks fan. I'm sorry. I'm sorry about how that Knicks fans. I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I just try to focus on all small sensory pleasures. That's one of the things I try to focus on. Also, I can remember one time where I was driving to have dinner with a friend, okay, and I was in the most suicidal state of mind. So then I said, okay, why don't you just turn on some music to see if that can extract those feelings? And you know what? It worked. Okay. So it was a song by Boys to Men, okay? One of my favorite music groups of all time, Boys to Men. They had a song on their album, Boys to Men 2. Okay. Boys to Men 2. They had a song on their album called I Sit Away Lonely. Okay. Um, so I sit away lonely and I get away alone in my mind. Said I sit away lonely and I get away sometimes. Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how certain songs can just extract those feelings from you. Okay, and that song right there described my mood. And when I arrived to a dinner with a friend, I felt better. I felt better. I felt I felt a little bit better. I felt a little bit better. Okay, but yeah. Sometimes music, oftentimes, a lot of times, music. Finding music that can describe your mood can really pull those feelings out. Okay, everybody has their ways. Okay, um, um, everybody has their ways of dealing with it. Um, Staying alive, reasons to stay alive. Okay. But yeah, I just thought that was a real interesting post. The real reasons why, the real things keeping suicidal people alive. I thought that was a interesting post. Okay. All right, that's it, and that's all. For the Sean Ferrell Podcast, I am out of here. May God bless you all. Peace out. You are loved. You matter. You are more than enough, and you are not a burden. Don't let anybody else ever tell you differently. All right? All right. God bless. Peace out.